So as you can see, this is just one food pantry that is within the Cass County, and how much good that they do, especially in the economic situation that's going on right now. Through this resources, there's also community service, so people who are more fortunate can help give their time, give food, give money to the organizations that could greatly help the Cass County. And now Cliff's going to actually talk about our document.
Okay. As you look, this is our cover sheet. Just to put in a plug for UCM, we put a little disclaimer at the bottom. It says, created by the students of University of Central Missouri as community service project, both are volunteering both time and service. And it's got the updated that we updated on date. This is the table of contents that we broke it down by. If you look, it goes 63 pages. It's quite a distance, but we believe it to be easily understood. And we were able to break it down into websites by title with the number or contact information throughout in this fashion. We bridged it in. Previously, if there was 8 phone numbers, it'd all be on one line, and you had to really actually read to figure out what you were looking at. We think we have a good product, and we hope they carry out and use it extensively for those in need. And here's Hannah.
We decided to make an index which shows every page that each organization is listed on. For those of you that haven't made an index before, this was quite a task. I underestimated it by a lot, but basically what I did was I made an Excel spreadsheet, and every time I went through each page and copied each organization into the Excel spreadsheet and the page number that it was on, and then put it in alphabetical order and combined all the page numbers into one cell, which made it a lot easier than going to Word and having to go back each time and find it and causing chaos. But we do have an index that shows each organization and every page that they are on. Some are more than others. Some fit into many more divisions, yes. And then the subsections within those divisions. So this is our index, and we feel like it'll make it a lot easier to find the organization that you need for assistance.
And for our conclusion, we found this a very rewarding project, especially for us, knowing that we're going to help out a community in greater need, and knowing that we're going to help the people who need that extra assistance. We called to double check each number, and for me, I called an organization just to double check, and they asked me if I needed help tonight, and they could place me somewhere right then. And that's just a really rewarding feeling that even though it wasn't their division, because their phone lines weren't working, that they're still willing to help you. So having those updated numbers are really going to help each individual in Cass County, and there's over 1,000. There's thousands of people in that in that general area. This is also going to help the nonprofit organizations to get their name out there, so that they are being utilized to their best potential. Also aiding others to finding those resources that they need. If your child's sick and you need to take them somewhere fast, you're able to find that right away. It was also a really great team building project, because we all have our own specific areas that we're passionate about or that we're really good about, and so being able to incorporate them all together, we felt that we have come up with a really great project for the community of Cass County. And now Deborah's going to talk about the extra recommendations.
The only recommendation, Tom, that I could come up with at this point in time would be that the churches themselves, all listed within Cass County, is an extensive list, but it would probably be good if there was a list that actually had their addresses and their phone numbers available. I know you can find it in the Yellow Pages, so it's not like people can't find it, but it might be more accessible, especially for the churches that know each other and know what the other churches have available, if specifically those churches might be included on a different list. So that's the only thing that we did not do as far as all the other organizations that we had that we worked with. Now I guess, do you have any questions, Tom? Or do you guys have any questions?
I don't have any questions. This is the first time I've seen the resource guide, and my response is, wow. Incredibly helpful. The way you've broken it down in Dixon is, you said, I'm sure that was a lot of work, but it's just so helpful to know. I'm just flipped here on immunizations that I can flip, I have somebody who needs to get their child in school, but they can't because they haven't had their shots or whatever. I can just pull this up and say, well, here's the number, sit down in my office, call, Cass County Health Department, let's set up an appointment, or, Kansas City Health Department, let's set up an appointment, and we can get people those things. Just again, flipping through some legal services. It's just, like I said, wow. This is really helpful.
Well, that was our goal. We wanted to make sure that the people that were in the offices, whether they were volunteers, whether they were regular staff, people that knew how to work with the system, whether they were the ministers themselves, that anybody could go and pull it off the shelf. And because we had put it in the 7 categories that had been utilized by the other class here on campus, as well as Ruby Payne in her book, it just seemed to make sense that if someone had economic troubles, why not have an economic section? And if they were having physical health, issues, why not put, a physical health section in there so that you could go directly there? And then, of course, there's all the subheadings underneath of that in alphabetical order. So hopefully that will make it very usable, very friendly for anybody that's needing it. So anybody have any questions? Should open up to everybody.
Yeah, are the churches from the area or the area that the Alliance serves, are the churches themselves listed there?
The churches themselves, we list all of them on that page. I don't know that every single church from the organization, there is a page that has some of the main participants, but that was a good question.
Yeah, and there, times when they have a worship service.
Yes, yeah, and that is true. We did not actually put a list with all the churches themselves that were in the organization. We do have an address, I think a web page for the Ministerial Alliance, and a phone number. So.
Yeah, and we do, and our website just went up, I think, a couple months ago.
Yep.
One of our guys is pretty web savvy, so he wrote it. I have a list here of all the present churches that are part of the Alliance, and everybody in the Alliance has one too. And there's 12 churches now. I think there are 2 more that are contemplating, and it's really an association of pastors in the area who are part of it. That's why it's called a ministerial alliance. But obviously, if one of the pastors in the area is involved in the alliance, that usually pulls our churches in too, to be plugged into the food pantry or thrift store and things like that. So right now there's 12, and I know that there's 2 more that are thinking about it.
Okay, well, that would probably go along with our recommendations then, since we didn't actually put that. If you have a current listing of that, then that should definitely be included, so that in a PDF file, if someone was pulling that up, that they would be able to have access to the churches and or ministers that are mostly involved in the Ministerial Alliance, in case they needed further information about it.
Yeah. We may have to, I think there's some personal cell phone numbers on here.
Oops.
That may be oops.
Oops.
To get out of the public. But they're, we could easily edit this down and attach that to that. That would be a problem.
Right, right. And I don't.
And it does fluctuate some. We have another guy in staff here who just joined 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we've added a few other guys here recently too. So it does change throughout the year, and so we're constantly being updated. So.
Right.